Hey, that's kind of catchy. Welcome aboard to the Doug Rice Show. This is Doug Rice. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Brought to you by Twidwear, sports apparel, finest in the land. Dear God. And he's got plenty of inventory on hand. How you doing this morning, folks? I kind of like that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Here we go. All right, folks, calm down, calm down. It's me, it's Doug Rice. Welcome this morning to the Doug Rice Show. Every day we're going to get better and better. We're going to improve. We're just going to ascend to the highest heights until we're out of here. All right, good morning. 8 o'clock straight up, the 10th of November, 2023. They're on the precipice of something as far as I can see. You know, I'm having some issues. I'm having some issues. I'll get into those issues later. But through some investigation, I found out that, I don't know if you know, but for some reason, the banks are going to be closed tomorrow in my area. And there's no real explanation. There's no real reason given. It's just announced. It's on the recordings of most banks. If banks in your area are opened on Saturday, the announcement was made that the banks will not be open tomorrow for some strange reason. There are a lot of movements happening troop-wise, militarily, a lot of things going on, a lot of folks nervous. But Negroes have no need to be of such countenance. We are able to relax and calmly observe the end of the Gentile nations. I mean, folks, it's happening everywhere. You see it if you follow me on social media, and I hope you do. If you follow me on social media, I feel that I am on the pulse of the informational edifices that surround us all. And I keep a keen eye on everything going on at all times for the purpose of conveying to you the importance of keeping an eye on all things at all times. That's what I do. Today will be no different. Today we're going to investigate a timely subject, one that is on the minds of many of those who claim to be Jews but are not. In this offering, we have something brought from an institution called the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Let me share it with you. Now, Simon Wiesenthal has put together an expose, if you will, if you take a look at the screen. And I don't really know when this came out. I mean, it seems a bit current, and right now it's a bit timely, as my moderator has been so astute at pointing out that the camps that I'm about to discuss, through which Ed Snyder Social Action Institute chooses to discuss is that these camps are on the terrorist watch list. And now any black organization who stands up for themselves, including the Nation of Islam, are considered BIE. Now, BIE, that's an acronym that stands for Black Identity Extremists. And that's who Simon Wiesenthal has targeted with this expose. Now, let me say this before we delve in. I am not a friend to camps. I've never been. I see them as a caricature of what they intend. So it's, for me, it's not an offense that he takes exception to these organizations, and through our reading, he will itemize some interesting occurrences that are attached to these camp structures. Some have said, and I've heard it said from some, that these camps are supported by Ashkenazi European converts or Jewish people. And nothing could be further from the truth. These camps serve as a threat, a reminder to them of the lie they live. And we're going to look into how he frames this threat with absolutely no opposite or opposing or offering in kind that might object to their assertions, that might correct what they're saying. There is none of that in this. There's no offering of some opposite assertion with proof, no receipts. But let's get into it, because I think you'll find this neat. All right, you like what you see? Do me a favor, folks. Listen to me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hopefully, the notification bell works a bit well. I don't know. All right, so let's see what we got here. First things first. This is an overview. Let's see if I can get a little bit of. Oh, look at that. You like that? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, better. You'll see the bottom. Don't worry. So here we go. So remember that this is not Negro friendly by any means necessary. They get through that point. You'll see what's happening. Here we go. All right, overview. This short report will outline the ideology of the extreme Black Hebrew Israelites, or BHI, in the United States. During October and November 2022, multiple anti-Semitic attacks by the U.S. rap artist and major social influencer Kanye West, and a tweet from NBA player Kyrie Irving's providing a link to an anti-Jewish film, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, have thrust radical Black Hebrew Israelites into the national spotlight. So with the opening salvo, we see they're nervous. We see that they have their eye on the proverbial ball, right? And let's notice who it started with, folks, because we saw it all. We know Kanye found himself for a moment and has since lost himself again. We know that Kyrie Irving paid $500,000 for his sin. But the rest of it, well, let's delve in. It is important to note that the Black Hebrew Israelite movement is not monolithic. There exists a diverse spectrum of beliefs and practices. This report will only focus on the extreme elements that espouse anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTQ plus, what's the plus for? Anyway, and misogynistic rhetoric. This radical subgroup of Black Hebrew Israelites should not be confused with Black Jews or other Jews of color. Well, is that not an eye-opening confession that there are other Jews of color they might need to be addressing? Is that not What that is, I don't know. And why would he associate LGBTQ, whatever plus is, with anti-Semitic trope, as he calls it? You know, in the state of Israel, this place where they claim to be the chosen of God and follow Scripture, is one of the highest homosexual communities on the planet. And they have each year a soiree similar to that found in San Francisco. And they do this in the face of the fact claiming there to be God's set-apart people, an example for the rest of the world. And when they find true Israel asserting themselves and against such biblically condemned practices, suddenly they glom together the anti-Semitic trope they claim with anti-LGBTQ fame. And so that tells us where Jews stand in relationship to the Creator's command. Let's continue, shall we? Like, subscribe, share. And there it is there. Core beliefs of Black Hebrew Israelites. Let's take a look at what they think we believe in. Let's see how accurate they are. BHI supporters reject the history of Christianity, Judaism, and the Jewish people. I don't believe that they do. In fact, Black Hebrew Israelites understand the history quite succinctly, and they also understand that it applies to Negroes and Negroes only. Now, the bit players on the side are there, they're mentioned, but I don't know. The rest is simply Jewish pretension. Its adherents claim that Black Americans are the true descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. We are. And therefore are God's chosen people. We are. Some Black Hebrew Israelite groups believe that Native Americans and Hispanics are also included. They are not. Yeah, so this won't be a narrative that is without bias. You should know how I stand, how I feel, where I stand, all of those things. I'll deliver them on command to you. So Black Hebrew Israelite adherents contend the true children of Israel were scattered across the globe, driven into slavery, and forced to accept other religions such as Christianity. Very true. They believe the Bible prophesies that the true Israelites were displaced from their homeland and cursed to suffer atrocities. Doesn't that jibe with what he believes about himself? Look at the contradictory nature of how they approach what we believe juxtaposed to what they believe. Now, you would think that this being a Jew, he would offer at least some contrary, offering. I don't know. He would at least give it a proffering. He doesn't say anything. We'll see. Watch. They trust they will eventually receive salvation as the chosen people if they return to their Hebrew roots. Well, that's because that's what scriptures say and not the Talmud, that you would return. And so now we have to ask them when they stopped worshiping. Ask them when they left God and were returned back to the Creator, and they will have no answer. So I'm glad that we're going over this. This is very good. Adherents point to Deuteronomy 28 as evidence for this prophecy and consider it their duty to inform other true descendants of their lineage. These beliefs can be traced back in the United States to the 1890s. However, there are Black Hebrew Israelites who promote militant, extremist interpretations of biblical religious texts, fueled by and fomenting anti-Semitic and anti-white rhetoric. Now, let me stop you there, sir. That is an out-and-out lie. Not going to let that one slide by. I don't see Negroes lobbing rockets at Jews in Jerusalem. You need to stop. I don't see Negroes calling for any end to the Jewish state. They just don't acknowledge your existence in the first damn place. What's to wish? There's no wish and there's no hate pointed at Jews by Black Hebrew Israelites as a group. There may be some misaligned malcontents within the confines of their groups that might do something that be considered completely inappropriate. But you're not going to glom that on all Black Hebrew Israelites, all folks, Negroes that believe that they are the descendants of Jacob and Isaac. No, we don't wish your demise. Your demise is a given. That's coming, and it won't be at the hands of any human. See, here's the thing. We know you've armed yourselves to the teeth. I mean, we know you've done that, and there's no beating you with hand-to-hand combat. No. No Negro in his right mind would even consider raising against you, you barbaric individuals, Neanderthals. Give me a break. Killing is your business. You've proven that. But I will tell you this, what Hebrews who are Israelites and Negroes do believe. And when our God gets here, he's gonna fuck you up. Take that. Let's continue. Like, subscribe, share. I never said I was a preacher, so stop. I'm a teacher. Moving on. Anti-Semitism. Often, Black Hebrew Israelite extremists claim they cannot be anti-Semitic because they believe themselves to be the true Semites. This is true. You are not Semite. You are not from Shem. And what I'm doing by reading this is pointing something else about them. You know, he's pointing out all the facts, but he's not giving any contrary offering. He's not giving anything that could contradict what BHI is proffering. He is just simply stating the facts of what we believe without any contradiction to perceive. So what's he really doing? I think he's just informing. All right, 2018 pseudo-academic film. Pseudo-academic film. Oh my God. Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America posits that Sephardic, Ashkenazi, and Mizrahi Jews are just religious converts with no blood connection to the ancient 12 tribes of Israel. That is true. Understand that he's not countering the facts he's stating by now correcting this narrative, because there is no narrative to correct. There is only their lie to protect. These folks have the facts, but they have no counter facts to offer. It's kind of an insult, isn't it? I mean, he's got it down. It also promotes Holocaust denial and claims Hitler believes that Negroes were the real Jews. Now, I will take exception to that. I'm not going to deny the Holocaust. My father was involved in the Pacific Theater, so I know that World War II was a fact. I'm pretty sure the films that they showed walking in on Auschwitz and Treblinka and all of these places where they tried to put Jews in ovens for some reason, I'm sure that occurred. I'm not even going to question the numbers. And I will not say that Hitler liked Negroes, because he did not. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. If you think Negroes were a friend to Hitler, why did he walk out on Jesse Owens? Shut up. So here we get some facts, but, well, not all of them. Here we go. As of December 6, 2022, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America is still available for rent and purchase via Amazon Prime Video, owned by Jeff Bezos, a Jew. So what you gonna do? It's still up there too. See, they're mad. They're mad as hell. I understand, because we can tell, but you know, they don't have any counter offering to offer. They're not telling a different story. They're just basking in all of our Negro glory. They're an interesting group. See what we got here. The assertion that Black Hebrew Israelite believers cannot be anti-Semitic is often followed by a series of anti-Semitic tropes. Let me tell you what I was expecting. I was expecting a correcting. Why was he not in mind to offer up some correction of some kind? Because he has none. He's spiritually blind. In a recent video from Bishop Nathaniel, the leader of Israelites, Israel United in Christ, one of the most extreme Black Hebrew Israelite groups currently operating in the United States, He accuses Jewish people of always playing the victim in any situation, raising his hands in a mocking manner, stating Jewish people claim that I'm a victim, but I run society. Well, I got to tell you, folks, I've seen who runs the society, and they seem to be of the Jewish variety. Now, look, man, let's stop with the nonsense if we can. Come on. I look at the top of the pyramids of all of these organizations, and what I see are folks a part of the Jewish nation. You need to stop. I don't support Brother Nathaniel. I think he's an egomaniac. I do. I think he loves hearing himself talk and boss people around. And, you know, I think in general that he's an absolute clown. I do. You can tell him I said so, too. But what he says is the truth. You can tell him I said that as well. All right. The extremist fringe of Black Hebrew Israelites promotes a litany of anti-Semitism in numerous ways. The most extreme believers argue that today's Jewish people, including Israelis, are not descendants of biblical Jacob, but actually descendants of Esau, known as Edomites. Yes, you are descendants of Esau. You are Edomites. Offer us a counter-explanation as to your existence, then. Trace your lineage to Jacob and shut our Negro mouths. No? As a result, Black Hebrew Israelites consider them to be the enemies of the true Israelites. No, they're not. We don't consider them. Screw you. I mean, where does that come? And if Nathaniel does claim these crazy things, do you understand the kind of danger to us it brings? Do you understand the kind of echo in their minds it rings? Do you not understand? They believe that these false Jews are just white people. Yup, well, that's true. Who have deliberately usurped or stolen the true identity of people of color. That they did. We have the receipts. Why is it their thought can't be complete? Why can't they at least give a thought to compete? Why? Because they're going to be ending up at our feet. Oh, dog, here we go. This incendiary allegation spawned traditional anti-Semitic tropes promoted within the Black Hebrew Israelites. Listen, I am not anti-Semitic. Let's just stop. And to the point, let me get it. There's no anti-Semitism in me. I'm the Semite, can't you see? We're the jewels of God. They're the ones that look kind of odd. You know, look, I looked at the specimens they had in the concentration camps. Did you? I did. Okay. These individuals claiming to be the chosen of God, burning up under the very sun created by the God they claim to be chosen by. To me, it's nothing more than an absolute unequivocal lie. You got the highest rate of skin cancer on the earth. Where? In Israel. Since birth, these folks have been at odds with the sun shimmering above them. And they claim that our Negro God does love them. No. Let's take a look at the chart. 12 tribes of Israel. This is just disastrous, but there it is. You know what the camps believe. They believe that everybody is a part of the Negro nation. I mean, everybody that's white under creation. Let me explain. If you are a Negro and you live in the West Indies, if you live in the Dominican Republic, if you lived in all of these places and you have curly hair, tight curly hair, and you're a Negro. If they look at you and say negra, you are a Negro. But for those of you that determine these light-skinned European descendants from Spain are somehow associated with our fame, let me tell you, I'll say it again, no, they're not. And I ain't playing. It's pretty solid what the Creator has said about what a Negro has on his head. And it ain't blonde hair hanging down or even red. You heard what I said. All right. Whoa. Oh, I think I went too far. Wait. Boom. 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 Back. There it is. All right. Want to make sure I don't go. So there that is. Let me go to the next page. Another video from IUIC titled Jewish Fables argues that the imposter Jews stole the land of Israel using the Balfour Declaration because we've been duped by Jewish fables. This is true, how they turn the tables. They also argue that today's Jews are descendants of converts to Judaism and are descendants of the Khazars. Now what? Wait, hold on. A long debunked conspiracy. That's as deep as he goes in fighting against the assertions that Negroes make. That's it, a long debunked. How is it debunked? Who debunked it? Where is it debunked? How can verifiable history be debunked? You descend from Khazars. That's not some junk, that's true. And it's about you, Khazarian Jew. I mean, what you gonna do? They have established the version of being us, they argue. One of the videos from the Black Hebrew Israelites featured a discussion between a Jewish man and street preachers titled Amalek Confounded by the GRLA Hebrew in Philly. The Amalekites mentioned in the Bible, descendants of Amalek, were the first nation to seek the total destruction of the Israelites after the exodus from Egypt, and are viewed as the genocide-seeking enemy of the Jews. Let me stop there if I will. Let me address this. First and foremost, that happened. Yeah, the Amalekites did want to destroy the Jews. At that time, they were not white people. At that time, they weren't Europeans. At that time, they weren't converts by the order of King Bulan. Let me delve into this deeper, folks. Here's what's going on with this story that he doesn't want to tell. This long debunked conspiracy of them not being from Khazaria is bullshit. Let me explain. So the Khazars were a nation that held the barbaric European Anglo-Saxon Rh negative tainted individuals at bay. These murderous individuals eventually merged in with the Khazarians, who in themselves at the time before they converted to Judaism were pagan heathens. They were worshiping all kinds of nonsense, doing all kinds of sick, sexually depraved idiocy. Their history is not a mystery. We know it. And what happened was this debunked conspiracy about the Khazars goes, I don't know how it can be debunked, but the prince of Ukraine conquered Khazaria. The Khazars held at bay the Europeans just below the Caucasus Mountains. They were a buffer between the wild Neanderthal, fallen, infected white people that eventually called themselves Europeans, Anglo-Saxons, and civilized society just beneath them. They dripped their converted asses into Palestine and got into the slave trade, and it probably dawned on them that as long as Arabs are selling slaves, we might as well include those whose religion we usurped. This ain't us making it up. We got the receipts. I've done the shows. It pisses me off to read this, just so everybody knows. All right, we can continue. Let's go. All right, it just bothers me. I'm just gonna, So this is obviously the well put together offering, Jewish fables, and that's what they are. They're fables. The prince of Ukraine conquered the Khazarians. They had nowhere to go. They're in Ukraine. They become effectively Ukrainians, displaced Khazarians. They spread like ticks, an infection into Europe, and nobody wanted them there because of their trade practices, their usury. Okay, their buying, lending, all of that, their finance. Okay, Okay, and it all had to do with profits and interest. These are new ideas that flowed into the southern area of this planet, and they were resented because of their practices. Again, I'll tell you that even while Yeshua was alive, the Jewish Sadducees, Pharisees, they were taking form there. It was white people that turned in Yeshua. He was a brother. We're not ignorant. And I hate the way they try to treat us as such. We'll just continue. I know I talk too much. Often extremist BHI groups reference New Testament Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 passages taken out of context to prove that the Bible indicates that a group of impostors will masquerade as Jews in the future. I know the slander on the part of those who say they are Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. How is that out of context? Give me an explanation, sir. No explanation is offered, if you understand. What they do is they quote what is truth without any contradiction. I mean, look at it. The use of this passage to refer to all Jews as No, we don't refer to all Jews as the synagogue of Satan. Specifically, the synagogue of Satan is a formed group that knows exactly what they're doing, and typically they follow the Talmud. There are Jews, both black and white, that are not associated with the synagogue of Satan. I'll say that right now so you understand it. There are Jews that are carrying on the practices of the temple as they should, probably in line with the Creator's interests and intent. But don't think for a second that everyone claiming to be a Hebrew wants these people simply destroyed. There are those that do, but I'm not one. I hope neither are you. They'll be corrected. Who knows? All right, so so this is interesting. The use of this passage to refer to them, to all Jews, the synagogue of Satan was a cornerstone of medieval Christian theological and anti-Semitism and mirrors the belief of the white supremacist Christian identity movement. Now stop. Let me ask you something. Just because somebody believes something that's true and that person is an evil, wicked human dung, just because the truth in their own minds is wrong, that doesn't take away from the truth itself. And let me just say this while I'm on this. Seems a lot of people believe the same thing about these creatures. And I don't understand they have the same common features. So tell me why all of these individuals coming against you, Jew. Tell me. It seems interesting. So the Aryan people claim you're fakes, but they claim that they're Jews. Well, okay, whatever. Muslims don't like you much either. Christians don't care for you. Everywhere you go, you seem to draw hatred. And all I'm telling you is look into that damn Talmud. Talmud. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Look into the Talmud and see how abhorrently vile these creatures can be. There's a reason they don't like you. There's a reason for all this hatred. There's a reason that they came to your country and did all these horrific things that they did on the 7th. There is a reason behind it, and it's just not abject hate. No. I mean, if it was, that would be great. If you just blame it on hate, wouldn't that be easy? But no. There's more to the story, and it's pretty damn gory. All right, let's get back to it. I'm sorry. Just bothers me. I don't like it. It says, similarly, Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan is also charged that the Jews are not real Jews. Everybody's saying you're not real Jews, and you're not bringing up a shred of proof to disprove it. I haven't heard a single ounce in this whole diatribe of accusation and fear. Where's the proof that you're who you say you are? Put it right there. But they don't. They're just making observances. He says you are deceiving and sending this nation, USA, to hell. That's where it belongs. And that I can tell. This anti-Semitic trope runs through all three movements, despite their otherwise conflicting ideology. What did you say? That the anti-Semitic trope, the belief that you are not the true Jews, the belief that you are the children of Satan, belief that you are the synagogue of Satan, the belief that you are converts by order of your king. All three of these movements believe that about you. Will offer a counter argument. That's what you do. Disprove it and show to me that it's all not true. They're not doing that. They're not doing it. Let's go. In November 2022, IUIC hosted a live stream on Twitter titled Satan on Mount Sinai, NWO, New World Order. And that refers to the anti-Semitic conspiracy that Jews control secret governments who run the world. It features a video of a religious Jew. That's all you are, a religious Jew. You're not Hebrews. You're not Israel. You are converts as far as I can tell. Wearing a yarmulke and side locks. Side locks, they have to curl their hair in order for their hair to resemble what God described as having hair of wool. Do you understand how the lie is entrenched full? This guy walked past an IUIC demonstrator and outside the LA Lakers basketball home, Crypto Arena, and the video was edited to make the Jewish man's eyes glow red as the voiceover referenced the synagogue of Satan. Well, I got to ask this about this gentleman right here. Does he believe in the Talmud? Does he believe in the writings of the Jewish Babylonian Talmud? Because if he does, then to hell with him. I mean that. I mean, if you haven't peered into what these individuals believe about you, then I just don't know what else to do. In December 2022, a video circulated of another Black Hebrew Israelite demonstration held by members of the Sakari Hebrew Israelites outside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. This followed Yee's appearance alongside fellow anti-Semite Nicholas Fuentes, a longtime conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' InfoWars show, where he praised Hitler. The Sakari speaker also states in the video, agreed with Yee, claiming that Hitler knew who the real Jews was, and that the Jewish person speaking to them in the video is the seed of the devil. The speaker also states that the fake Jews will go into slavery and that he was glad that the Holocaust happened. Now, let me go ahead and address that while I have you here. None of that is appropriate. Are you out of your damned minds? The Creator doesn't take delight in destroying. Neither do Negroes. The Creator does not take delight in destroying and correcting. He's on the way to wipe out a vast majority of the population of the planet. God Almighty is coming to do just that. But there's no pleasure in it. And this kind of sentiment does Negroes no good. Those of us that have no camp association and choose not to because of this kind of silly thing. Let me tell you something about camps. And I've said this before. It seems like they're wannabrews. They're gang bangers who have discovered the truth. And this gang banging mentality brought to camps has done this to us. We got camp clowns asserting in public things we know these vile, violent, very injurious individuals don't like to hear about themselves. And then you have Negroes put on blast, and suddenly now the Jewish community is on our ass. I now probably won't be able to say anything without being associated with a goddamned camp. It's ridiculous. All right, let's get back to it. So here are the images from the Twitter user's video, BHA demonstration outside the Barclays Center, where Kyrie Irving and the New York Jets plays. And we know what happened to Kyrie. We know. They took him in a back room and they showed him some papers, and now I don't understand. Why don't they show everybody the paper? Whatever the papers that they're showing people in these back rooms, supposedly correcting their attitude about them being Jews, I'd like to let's take a look at them, because there's some information I could use. Whatever. A music video released in November 2022 titled Death Con 4 by artist Natazab features members of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and spews numerous anti-Semitic tropes. Natazab is a Sacramento-based rapper. The title is inspired by a recent outburst by Yee, who tweeted he was going to Death Con 3 on Jewish people. Stop! Let's go ahead and clear this up right now. Let's! Kanye's an idiot. Okay, first and foremost, Kanye's an absolute moron. He's a buffoon. He's not taking his medication, and I hope he takes it soon. That was a typo. That's all. We all know. Come on, he said he was going to DEF CON 3, not DEF CON 3. And hopefully he didn't mean it, but hey, we'll see. If he did, well, he's an idiot. He doesn't represent the collective. He's not in the Negro connective. And look what's happened to Kanye since. I look at it and it makes me wince. I mean, the new chick he's got, man, whoa. Okay, that's all. Let's just move on. You're the synagogue of Satan with them black hats, your whole nation sitting ducks. Dear God, what the fuck? Natazab's lyrics also charge that they make millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Another reference to the belief that Jewish people are imposters. They make millions off our culture. They do. Let me tell you about Clive Davis, this sick and twisted individual, this crazed Jew. What he did was he groomed and made out of Diddy and a few others that really wasn't pretty. You know what they do. He's responsible for the spiritual demise of so many Negroes in my eyes. They're just smiling and grinning and telling lies. You know. What happened to Whitney Houston? How did she go? And her daughter went in the exact same. So they do glom and enrich themselves off Negro culture. They put their disgusting arms around our shoulders like a vulture. Everywhere you look, media, take a look, read a book. The last name doesn't resemble one you might not consider a Jew. Every last one of these individuals in charge of these media megaliths, these huge multi-billion-dollar orifices that enrich them off Negro entertainment. At the top of the goddamned pyramid is a fucking... Because it's true. It's absolutely true. Yeezy did point it out. I mean, he had the list. He started reading off the names of the top echelon of all these folks in charge of our fame. And let me tell you something, name after name after name it came, and it was not a name that you would not recognize as a Jew in our Negro eye. So, don't tell me that they don't run the show, because we all know they do. At the top of most pyramids is a goddamn Jew. I said it. What? It's the Doug Wright Show. I ain't playing. It's what I do. Hey, there it is. All right. So, anti-Semitic trope promoted by extreme Black Hebrew Israelite adherents insists that Jews are afforded a level of protection because of alleged control they have over society. They do have a control over society. If you don't believe me, take a look at the mainstream news here in America. They're not covering how the Palestinians are getting their asses handed to them by the Jews. They're kind of getting a soft touch of what's in the news. One video from an Australian branch of Great Millstone, another extreme BHI group, insists that them small hat people are being protected worldwide. They're the ones who is in power right now. I like the way he went ebonic on it just to give it impact, you know, because that's how we talk like that. I get it. So some adherents of extreme BHI believe that those who present themselves as Jewish today are actually Europeans rather than Israelites. And as a result, those extremists promote an anti-white beliefs portraying white people as the devil because they are the devil. Dear God, let me explain. RH negative blood, foreign intrusive DNA that sets inside some individuals that way. That Neanderthal blood, 2% accounts for two or few major things in their makeup. One is skin color. The other is hair texture and color. Those are the 2% Neanderthal Rh negative DNA traits carried by all of these individuals who claim to be white people. That's not some trope, that's real. Now, are they devils? They are associated with the fallen. They have within them fallen traits, and that's not trope. Believe it, it's true. And look at what they do. These are God's chosen people? I don't think so. Next. So, this is particularly evident in several videos uploaded to YouTube by the Black Hebrew Israelites where the street preachers refer to white people as devils. Well, white people act like devils, don't get called devils. That's what you do. If you don't want to get called a goddamn devil, then don't act like a goddamn devil. My God. Similarly, in an interview with the Chicago leader of ISP UK, he states that there's nothing that gives me more pleasure, you know what I'm saying, on earth than saying that the white man is the devil, because he is, and I understand that it gives him pleasure, but he doesn't have to voice it. It's a private thought he can treasure, because it's the absolute truth. He also goes on to claim white people are responsible for allowing homosexuality to proliferate across the earth. Homosexuality stems from where primarily? Greco-Roman disgusting activity. If you don't believe me, just look at the reliefs that they left. Well, I mean, what is this? What is this? The accusations without any barter in response, just them moving wind from one room to the other. I don't understand it. There's nothing that's accomplished by this except informing the masses. And I hope that all of the Jews that read this do their own research so they don't miss the point. Very interesting. So a screenshot from an ISUPK TikTok account featuring part of Nadazab's DEF CON 4 music video. So maybe DEF CON 3 was, I don't understand DEF CON. Well, stop. He named it DEF CON 4 after Ye mistyped DEF CON 3 because it wouldn't have been a DEF CON 4 after it. So that's just me. All right, so it includes a caption of some lyrics referring to 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust as 6 million. $6 million. I want the world to never forget. I believe that was a typo too. I think he spoke that. This happens to me. Doesn't happen to you. You speak into the Google, right? And if you say a number, it'll pull a dollar sign in it. You press go. These are just mistakes. Pay attention to your typos. You see what I did earlier, right? Okay. Here we go, the attachment. I'm waiting for this here. The anti-LGBTQ+. The extremist BHI adherents believe that members of the LGBTQ community are evil. Well, what in the hell are they? I don't understand this. You claim to be the people of the book, and you down with all this, huh? This is you. But it says that neither fornicators nor men who lie with men, nor men kept for unnatural purposes will inherit the kingdom of heaven. And I mean, I don't even quote scripture. I just came to me. You understand. One member of the ISUPK Killeen, Texas, compares a child-friendly drag event to what? Is there such thing as a child-friendly drag event? Is there? When did there become a child-friendly drag event? What? So he compared a child-friendly drag event to the murder of children in an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas in May 2022, stating, "It is the spirit that wants to hunt and murder children." That's a reach. You're trying to connect a mass shooting to what they call child-friendly drag. I'm just not trying to mold the minds of children, but There's not a connection between Uvalde. I'm going to go with him on that one. He insists that the oppressor is trying to drag children into this wicked culture, which they consider to be an abomination. Well, God considers it to be an abomination. A man who lies with a man, I consider an abomination. Women gave themselves up for unnatural purposes. I didn't say that. That's a quote. It's not something that I wrote. But he's supposed to be a Jew. He's supposed to believe that too, but he supports the LGBTQ plus. Another video from ISUPK Staten Island refers to the LGBTQ community as a plague intended to destroy the Lord's chosen people. Yes! It is a plague! It can destroy. Just keep living that way. Here's the image from YouTube. It was used to advertise an episode of IUIC Tallahassee's radio show targeting the LGBTQ community. Hey, folks, I'm trying to figure out, what are you talking about? When did it become all topsy-turvy? You understand what's happening. Good is bad and bad is good. And the Jews seem to be at the head of this. You're serious. See, this tells me that they may have some sort of nefarious intent toward Negroes, and I may relent, but let's continue. Misogyny. The extreme BHI religious doctrine places God above man and man above woman. I think the scriptures place God above man and man above woman. One video from ISUPK features a street preacher advocating polygamy. I don't agree with that. Because there are only weak men left, so they have to go and marry 7 or 8 women so that our women can have a strong man. Now, look, hey, eat the meat, spit out the bone. What you don't believe, leave it alone. Look, I don't believe in multiple marriages. I've been married 20 years, and I've been married twice. For those of you that want multiple wives, my hat's off to you. I admire your lives. He goes on to argue that women are made to be soft and delicate. The video is titled, ISUPK turns LGBTQ members straight, implying sexual identity is a choice and that their rhetoric is some sort of remedy. Well, there is no remedy for choice. Another video from IUIC in Queens, New York refers to the Bible as asserting that women who wear pants are an abomination to God and that men should make the rules in a household. Well, listen, folks, I think we know that in Scripture there are plenty of times where the Creator has instructed Abraham, listen to his wife, has instructed women to take a principal role in fulfilling prophecy, has instructed all sorts of stories that are in the Bible involving women and their commitment to the Creator, the strength, their resolve. And in no case, in any instance, have I ever seen in scriptures women abused, women lorded over. There are roles within relationships involving marriage, but there is no, there's no abuse. There's none. It's a lesson you have to learn, I'm certain. Believe me. But this is the problem I have with camps, because this is now what this individual has circulated amongst the Jewish community to assert that Negroes who believe they are Hebrews believe what Negroes they've observed believe. And that is not something I really want them to perceive. So let's get back to it. Enjoy the show. Let's continue and see how it goes. They also claim that a husband takes the role of the Lord in the house over the wife. Another video claims that the households in Europe are dysfunctional because women take a role in leading them against the will of God. I will say this. Every society has crumbled on the advent of women asserting equal rights that they should have by natural order. Now, that does not mean that that assertion is in some way contrary to God's intent. I believe that the Creator has us on equal footing with men taking the lead. If you can understand my point. At some point, it's important you listen to your wife, and you acquiesce to her needs. I will tell you that, and you best believe. You want to get married, you want to stay married. That's one way to at least stay married. All right. Continuing, BHI extremist groups. It is hard to gauge the number of people that belong to extreme BHI movements, but I bet they got an exact count. Many extreme Black Hebrew Israelites host groups for learning that they refer to as schools or camps, but the number of members within each is difficult to assess. My ass. Social media statistics are useful in assessing the reach of their preaching, but cannot be relied on as evidence of membership numbers. Public displays, such as a recent protest outside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, to support Kyrie Irving, was attended by hundreds of individuals who appeared to be connected with IUIC. So they are in stark, abject terror of Negroes growing in number regarding their realization that they are true Hebrews. But what terrifies them even more are the camps, because the camps, for them, they are an aggressive edifice used to attack. And we're going to get into some of that right now. Let's do that. Here we go. One of the most prominent organizations promoting extremist Black Hebrew Israelite ideology is Israel United in Christ, founded by Bishop Nathaniel in Coney Island, New York in 2003. Let me ask you a question. Who said this dude's a bishop? See, this is the problem I have. You go self-appointing yourself, it makes me want to laugh. It's as bad as that Judah Ben Judah dude sitting down claiming he's the Messiah. I think he's elevated as high as he's going because he ain't going no higher. But this guy, in my eye, self-aggrandized, egotistical individual, he's got some dirt on him too. I've read it. It's not too cool. And the fish stinks from the goddamned head. I mean, that's just it. You heard what I said, because that's what I do. So his goal is to resurrect the children of Israel and rebuild the nation of Israel according to Bible prophecy. Who the hell told him to do that? IUIC preaches that Black, Hispanic, Native Americans are true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If they are Negroes, and they are Black, and they are Hispanic, and they are Native Americans, and they are Negroes, then true. But other than that, no. There's not an individual, and I've done enough to assert that in confidence. There's too much about Negroes, too much that asserted about us earlier, and it's these camps that they're using to diffuse the Negro nation, and it's why we're losing. That's my intent. That's the only reason I could see that the Jews would support camps, because they water down the message. They include nations that have no association with Negroes. And yet and still, they still put a taint on us. To me, it's just abjectly against our better interest to include nations that are so quick to call us the N-word. What bothers me is you invite these individuals, these light-skinned, straight-haired European descendants, and you want to call them Hebrews. You want to associate themselves with Israel, but their family members, boy, they can't tell. And that's what bothers me, and that's why I think the whole notion can go straight to hell. Hebrews are Negroes only. Thought I'd throw it out there. They refer to themselves as the true Israelites in the 12 tribes of Israel. They claim that today's Jewish people are Edomites. They are. The enemies of true Israelites. They are the enemies of true Israelites. And descendants of Esau. They are the descendants of Esau. We can prove it. And who curse God. They curse God. They got the Talmud. They say it's okay to curse God as long as you don't do it under certain conditions. That's in the Talmud. They curse God. The IUIC argues that these Edomites financed the slave trade from Africa. They did. They did. We have the receipts. We have the records. We have the names of the captains of the fucking slave ships. Do you notice I continue to tell you that all he's doing is stating what people believe, but he offers no counter argument. At least I can't perceive. It bothers me, man. You're sitting there spouting off all these facts, but you don't say a goddamn thing back. You don't have anything to say. All that is asserted is truth, for the most part. The rest I'll root out. So, they did. They financed the slave trade from Africa and were responsible for the genocide of Hispanic and Native Americans. They were. Several YouTube videos reference the anti-Semitic screed. It's a screed, synagogue of Satan. Who was God talking about if it's in Scripture? And that's the reason they deny Scripture. And in my opinion, most of the reason that they deny what they deny is because it brings the truth to the average eye. The IUIC argues that these Edomites financed the slave trade of Africa for responsible for genocide. Did that, contending that the New Testament states that Jews are imposters, stealing the identity of true Israelites. The IUIC has approximately 70 different YouTube channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers representing multiple regions in the United States as well as the UK, Germany, Belize, Liberia, and Jamaica. What's going on? Can't you stop this drive toward truth? Don't you have a counter argument that you can offer to stop this growing infection that you see as such a threat to your goddamned existence? Say something and educate me against what all I see. Do it. Prove that what is being said about you is not true. Jew. The IUIC dismisses criticism of their movement as a part of a wider conspiracy to prevent unity within the black community. No. I think they're not viewed as serious people. I think that these Power Ranger suits that they insist on wearing, you're supposed to have garments, and they're supposed to be worn on the last day. I don't know where they're getting off just walking around that way. Moving on. They also have a channel available for free on Roku, a media device and streaming platforms that provide over 63 million monthly active users with access to media content. They sound scared. Doesn't he sound terrified? Huh? What he's doing is laying out the facts as he sees the facts, as we perceive the facts. But he's not offering anything in contrast to the facts that are being asserted. He's not saying, but here's the truth. He's not saying that. Here's a promotional image for an upcoming IUIC live stream on YouTube entitled The End of the Fake Jews. Then offer something in contrast. That's what you do. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, I also wanted to know what IUPK standard for, is based in Pennsylvania, was established in 2006. They appear to be registered nonprofit in multiple states, including New York, California, and Michigan. They have TikTok channel with 10,000s of followers. Now look, how terrified can you be? How scared are you? Let me see. My goodness, I wanted to stop there for just a moment, just to give a pause for the cause. The hour is upon us. Twidware is the sponsor of this show, and I'd like you to know that, just so you know. And on the hour, as is proper, I'm going to give Twidware their propers. Please go to Twidware, check out the Twid gear there. They have some wonderful items. Twidware.com. You heard what I said, because that's what I do. I'm trying to get a catchphrase so that I think it might be something like, that's what I said, or I say it. Something like that, because that's what I do. That's the catchphrase of the Twidware brand. Let me say this while I can as well. This guy's been around for a long time. He's dedicated. He's committed. He's a family man. And he's doing the absolute best he can. And what he's done is provided the needed, necessary items like clothing and shoes. And there it is there for you all to peruse. And if you use the promo code TDRS, you'll get 10% off of the clothes that you'll dress. And you'll also support the Doug Rice Show. I thought that important, so you know. But remember, he is also a woke Negro. That's important. We don't support ourselves near enough, and getting through times right now are tough. So there's Twidware, sportswear, apparel, skincare. We've also got a Twidwear pack. Comes with a pair of shoes like that. Comes with a shirt, a boxing shorts, also a hoodie. $149 delivered. That's right. A pair of shoes, a hoodie, a shirt, and a pair of boxing shorts, all thick quality material, custom made, Twidwear. You'll support the Doug Rice Show. $149 delivers that. If you are interested in obtaining that pack, please let Katrina know or write to the Doug Rice Show at gmail.com. All right, that's about it. That's that. That's good. I like that little pause for the cause. Yeah, I feel good about that one, huh? Don't you? I do too. All right, so as we continue, please, as we continue to stretch your mental sinew, please like, subscribe, and share. And also hit the notification bell, because there it is right there as we continue. All right, here we go. So, the Sakari Hebrew Israelites are an extreme Black Hebrew Israelite group based in San Diego, California. Really. They are led by Adonis Glaude, also known as the Guerrilla Hebrew. I didn't know this. They have over 50,000 subscribers to their YouTube channel, and they've raised over $88,000 using GoFundMe since 2015. Oh my goodness, clutch the pearl. Good Lord. Great milestone is a loosely organized US-based extreme BHI organization that believes Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans are the true Israelites and descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. I do not believe that. Their street preaching videos are extensive, with hundreds of hours of content uploaded to multiple YouTube channels, representing branches in a multitude of places, including a variety of U.S. states, the Virgin Islands, and Australia. So this movement doesn't appear to need any improvement. Contemporary extreme BHI attacks. Now we're going to get into the meat of why he wrote this. Extreme BHI followers have been responsible for several attacks and murders in the United States in recent years. Most notably, in December 2019 in Jersey City, New Jersey, 4 people were killed at a kosher supermarket after being targeted by 2 individuals who were motivated by anti-Semitic beliefs fueled by extreme BHI ideology. So now let me ask you and stop there. How does that make them any different from Nazis, neo-Nazis inspiring weak-minded white males to write, manifestos and drive 200 miles to kill Negroes? So you're going to set that at the feet of Black Hebrew Israelites, or people that believe that we are in fact the true Hebrews, and that Negroes, royal Negroes, who have been royalty on this planet since we got here. I don't understand the inference. So this you want to use as the litmus test in judgment against Negroes who believe they are true Israel everywhere. You can kiss my black ass. You hear me? Because 1, 2, 5, 20 of us over a period of years have gone off the rails after the truths hit their ears and decided to murk a few of you, please don't associate that with what every one of us feels about you Jews. Stop. I mean, you do understand, there are Jews that have gone insane in their land and done some murderous things too. But I wonder how you attribute that to them being Jew. I bet you do. So, later that month, 5 Jewish people were wounded in a stabbing attack at the home of Rabbi Sham Rottenberg in Monsey, New York, during a Hanukkah celebration. Rottenberg later died of his injuries. The perpetrator was deemed incompetent to stand trial and was hospitalized in a mental health facility, but had been exposed to Black Hebrew Israelite beliefs in his journals and internet searches leading up to the attack. Just like Dylan Roof had been exposed to neo-Nazi ideology online and then went to kill 10 Negroes in church. Your deaths are no more horrific than the deaths of anybody else, Jew. Do you understand that? You hear me too. That's what's going on in this country, in this land, on the planet. It's felt that their lives are somehow held more precious than other lives. And that's a goddamned lie. A Jewish life is no more valued or no less valued than any other life. Period. They are not special. They are not. And they're certainly not set apart. That's what this is. They claim that the death of a Jew in their Talmud is much more valuable than the death of me and you. They can touch a dead body. You understand? And they won't be unclean because they don't consider the body a man if it's not a Jew. That's what the fuck they think of you. Conclusion. Whenever an individual or group, whatever its size, endorses anti-Semitism, celebrates Adolf Hitler and the Nazi mass murder of 6 million Jews in a public display of hatred against the Jewish people, they must be taken at their word. I believe that. I agree. Take us at our word. What have we said we're going to do to you exactly? What if black people who claim that they are Jews, what if the camps say they are going to do to you? What overt threat, what move have they made in your goddamned direction, Jew? Tell me. Collectively, I don't see any kind of adverse movement in your goddamn directions. What they're doing is they are exposing you for all they can. And that's making you nervous, down to a man. That's what's going on. Sorry. Had to do it. All right. When such hatred is exposed in the heart of New York City, home to 1.6 million Jews, the largest Jewish community in the world outside of Israel, then everyone should take notice: electoral officials, faith leaders, social media influencers, neighbors. Let me ask you a question. Do they appear helpless to you? Do they appear helpless to you? I mean, they're armed to the goddamned teeth. Are they helpless? I don't understand it. Who's going to put them in ovens? Who's going to put them in ovens now? Huh? Talk to me. I want to know. Where's the threat coming from? Honestly, in relation to Black Hebrew Israelites. Now, the Palestinians got beef with you Europeans. All we're saying is that you're claiming to be us and you're not. And our God is on the way to kick your butt. That's all we're saying. And that makes you nervous as hell. Good. That's what you need to be, as far as I can tell. So a recent statement from FBI Director Christopher Wray shared the alarming statistic that while Jews make up only 2.4% of the U.S. population, anti-Semitism is the motivating factor in 63% of all religious-based hate crimes. Why do they hate you so? That's all I want to know. Additionally, social media platforms must be held accountable for their role in spreading anti-Semitic and hate, particularly by the use of YouTube to host thousands of hours of anti-Semitic street preaching archives from extreme BHI groups and live streaming on platforms such as Twitter. Here's the thing. Offer some counter information to all you see flowing through the Negro nation. Offer it. What you're doing is sounding the alarm of the truth set upon you. That's what you're doing. All this is a diatribe on the truth. There's no counter here. There's nothing. I'm glad we read it, but let me finish it up. Here we go. Tragically, this brief report presents an overview of a worldview, ideology, and rhetoric of extremist elements in the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. Yeah, all of that based on the truth about Jews, based on the truth about Ashkenazi Kazazian converts, based on the truth about the Talmud, based on the truth about their treatment of Goyim, based on the truth that they can spit on Christians in Israel, based on the truth that they have one of the most deafening homosexual communities on the goddamn planet. They're so loud. Based on all of that, their spread of sadistic practices. I mean, I could go on and on. They fan the flames of anti-Jewish hate, and like some white extremist movements, literally present Jews as the devil incarnate, spawning targeted violence, mayhem, and even murder of Jews. The Simon Wiesenthal Center, which brought nothing other than information and no counter-argument, will continue to bolster our... Wait, look at this. They saved this for last. Y'all can kiss my black ass. Listen to this one. The Simon Wiesenthal Center will continue to bolster our relationship and lines with Black Americans who in 2022 remain the #1 target of race-based hate crime. I thought it was all about you. I thought this was all about the Jew. But at the end, you admit it ain't about you, that you're not #1, that you're not the targets of hate. We are. Maybe you need to fall back and sit what they call the fuck down. #1 target of race-based hate crimes in the United States, not Jews, blacks. So what the fuck were you talking all about? That just bothers me. You mean the final sentence admits that you ain't got it that bad. The final sentence has you, as it states, fighting against anti-Semitism, racism, and bigotry wherever the source and whoever they target. So I need you to understand how he framed that closing sentence, because it touched upon the fact that they are not the most hated group in the United States, but then it just turns it back around to be all about their goddamned ass. This shit is ridiculous. So that's it. That's what we got. I get worked up. I get worked up a lot. When you see the truth right in front of you and you understand that it's just the work of man, well, you start to tell people to do all you can, Thank you for tuning into my brand. This is the Doug Rice Show. My name is Doug Rice. And you're tuning in to me. Well, that's very nice. Please also support the effort. Use what you see right there and support me, because if not, I'm off the air. I wanted to share this with you. I don't usually get into a mode of any kind of personal problems, but I have been victim of the same banking errors that occurred on, I believe, the 2nd. And so deposits that I expected have not been connected. And so I desperately need your assistance. Please, without any resistance, use the offerings below to support the Doug Rice Show. I really need it. I'm not able to fix this situation, and I'm understanding that it's applied to the nation. So the banks aren't open tomorrow. And so with great want and sorrow, I again implore you, support the Doug Rice Show. And that's about everything I know, and I gotta go. All right, folks, thanks so much for showing up. My name is Doug Rice, and I do appreciate you being here. Thank you, Detrina, for your moderation. Thank you, entire Negro Nation. And if you gotta be out there in public places, do me a favor, get that goddamn grin off your faces. All right, I'm Doug. Thanks so much, folks. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.